All right, what is good, everybody? Thank you for coming into the stream. My name is Jay. The YouTube channel is called Tripping with Jay, and we're doing a special stream tonight, live on location in Merida, Mexico. All right, so thank you guys for coming into the building, man. I got the chat open now, so I think we're good. So if you guys have any questions during the live stream, go ahead and put them in the chat. So the reason I'm doing this live is for you guys to ask questions, because even though this may not get a lot of people watching and a whole lot of viewers and everything, that's totally fine, right? So I want to kind of get into it really quickly and kind of start it off, man. Let's start off with, well, let me just explain to you guys what the stream is about. How about that? So the stream tonight is going to be about how you yourself can leave the Matrix. And if you guys have ever heard of the movie called The Matrix, it essentially is a system where you are kind of trapped in until you are freed and able to explore what is called the real world. So that has been kind of taken to a different degree here. But it's essentially going to show you how you can eventually move abroad and leave the U.S. if you are fed up with any aspect of the U.S., whether it's the politics of it, or if it's something that is something else in your life. But we're going to show you how to do it step by step. Let me know if my audio is good, guys, on your guys' end. I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me well. So I think we're good to go. All right, guys, let me know. One's in the chat. All right, let's go ahead and start with step number one. So define like what leaving actually means to you. Okay, so before going out there and buying your plane ticket, you got to figure out, what does that mean to you? Essentially, do you want to lower your living cost? Do you want more free time to do whatever you want to do? You want a better quality of life, which is my personal reason why I want to leave the U.S. Do you want less stress? You want more dating, social opportunities from our passport bros out there? That's a thing too, right? Do you want a slower lifestyle? Do you want entrepreneurial freedom, tax optimization? And do you want more adventure and more travel? So that's a myriad of different reasons, but you can kind of decide on your own about the reason why you want to leave the Matrix or the U.S., right? So a lot of countries, people think when it first comes to your mind, like, okay, where do I want to actually relocate to? So if it's cost of living, which is typically the main reason for wanting to live outside of the U.S. and move abroad, is these few countries here. So we have the first one being Thailand, Mexico, Colombia, Vietnam, and the Philippines, right? Those are the top 5 countries where American expats have relocated to, just all based on cost of living. So someone approximately making $3,500 per month remotely can live comfortably in almost any part of those 5 countries without an issue. Okay, so you can either be making that $3,500 a month working a regular job, or it can be through investments or in dividends that actually pay you back. And or if you just need a rest. I know a few folks, a few personal friends, they actually took a leave of absence from their job and decided to go and travel the world to figure out what they really want to do in life, because a typical 9 to 5, you don't want to be doing that for the rest of your life. Okay? And let's see if we can move on to number 2 here. Is reducing dependence on just one location. Okay? This is one of the more important steps. If you want to successfully leave the Matrix, right, the USA, you have a few options, a few viable options, right? Not just, fantasizing about leaving. These are hardcore actual steps that you will have to follow if you want to leave the USA. And it's not like a manifesting type of deal. It's actual work. You have to put in the work in order to leave the US. So option A is a remote job. Option B, an online business. So I'll go back through these options later on to kind of go through the smaller bullet points here. But you have investment income. Oh, okay. So those are the those are the three options, guys. But you honestly can make your own way to financial freedom in order to leave the US. It doesn't have to be these three ways, but these are the three main ways that are very viable for the everyday person back in the US. And this is what this stream is intended for. I know a lot of people aren't going to watch it. That's totally fine. If I help one person leave the matrix, this video is worth it, in my humble opinion. So when we go back to option A, right, for a remote job, some of the examples of that could be in the tech industry, customer support. Customer support is one of the most used down here, at least where I am in Mexico. It could be in sales, it could be marketing, design, recruiting, or project management. All of those are very sound and very viable, right? It's real. And you can find a lot of these jobs on places like Indeed, LinkedIn. As long as you are able to kind of tweak your resume to each of those roles, you should be able to at least get an interview. And an interview for one of these jobs is a whole different other stream. So we're just talking about ways that you can actually free yourself and leave the USA. So the goal essentially is to just build income that you can actually travel with. So remote work, like actually what we're doing right now. And option B is online business. This is exactly what I'm doing right now, right? So examples of an online business could be YouTube. It could be freelancing. It could be photography, consulting, coaching, e-commerce. E-commerce is a big one down here. A lot of people do e-commerce. They do drop shipping. And I've tried it, failed, didn't like it, so I stopped. So you guys can literally go down this list. I've tried almost every single thing here, and a lot of this stuff didn't work out until YouTube worked out for me. So you just have to keep trying different side hustles outside of your regular 9-to-5 and scale that side hustle to where it is out earning your regular income at least 1 to 2x, right? I would say 3x your 9-to-5 income just to be safe for the normal person. But if you're risky, just do 2x what you make at your 9-to-5, and then you're good. You have to start a side hustle and scale that up from there. And see, I just want to stop for any chats, no chats. But yeah, guys, if you got any questions, chats, just bring them to me. You put them in the chat so I can answer them. This is the reason why I'm doing this live instead of like doing a pre-recorded, nice and fancy editing and everything. You know, I like to interact with you guys. So e-commerce and then affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing is probably one of the easiest ways to make money on the go, but you have to already have built an audience that is going to buy things from your link or your affiliate links or things like that. So in my personal case here, I have Amazon links in my description box that you guys can look at even right now. Each of those links, I get a small commission from each of the sales from when you guys actually click those links for Amazon. And it doesn't cost the end user, which is you, anything extra. So you pay the same price for all of your products on Amazon, and I get a small cut from it. And this is another kind of easier way to get money while you are abroad and online, right? Okay. Let's go to option C, which I actually participate in option C as well. And it's investment income. So examples of that are index funds. So I invest into the S&P 500 for index funds, and I have my dividends already reinvest themselves. So it's called DRIP, D-R-I-P, and that's just reinvesting your dividends. And I also have a rental property as well. So I use my rental property income to free myself. Well, this is the plan, right? Using all of those side hustles, like using YouTube, using affiliate links, doing my rental properties, my index funds, all of that combined, it should be able to free myself and go and leave the matrix forever. And that's the idea, right? Or lastly, here on the list is business ownership. This is another big one down here in Mexico from a lot of the expats that I've spoken to. They have their own business down here, whether it's marketing, or whether they throw events, they throw parties, or they're a DJ, or they do real estate brokerage. Like they're a real estate broker down here. So they're making US dollars and they're spending in a foreign currency. That is the cheat code, is making USD and spending in a foreign currency where you have the advantage of a stronger currency like the US dollar, at least currently at the time of this recording. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. So let's talk about targets. How much do you realistically have to make per month in order to free yourself from the matrix, the USA, and live abroad? That's not a simple question to answer for you, but a general target that you want to aim for if you want like a decent, like normal expat lifestyle is around 2 to 4K a month, right? And anybody can do this. It takes work. It takes a lot of work to build that type of income remotely. But I talk to people every single day that have done this. If they can do it, I believe that you can do it as well. You have no excuse if you were born in the USA and you are given all of the opportunities that people in other countries would kill for, and you're not successful. Your success is dependent upon you. Okay? Another thing that I want to mention is minimizing your debt. So along with scaling up your side hustles and still working your 9 to 5, you want to minimize as much debt as possible. At least try to get it down to like maybe a couple thousand. But the most optimal situation is going to be to eliminate all of your debt entirely, right? To be able to leave, move, and go abroad without any debt holding you back here in the USA. Okay? And then the good old emergency fund. Shout out to Dave Ramsey. So your emergency fund is also very important, especially when you move abroad, because you want to have like a secret stash of money just in case things go south and you are in a foreign country and you need to get your butt back to the States. I would say at least 2, maybe 6 months of expenses. And if you're looking at $2,000 to $4,000 a month, you do the math, right? I would say at least 10K, but in an emergency fund before you think about moving abroad. Because if things go south, that 10K is going to cover your moving costs, the flight, any type of extra expenditures that you may have to give out while you're in that particular country. And it gives you about a couple thousand to kind of land softly back here in the States. If you happen to spend all of that money or the most of it, you still have a little bit left over, so you can kind of have a little bit of a jump start when you come back to the States, right? So make sure you have that 10K at least in an emergency fund before you think about moving abroad, and have minimal to no debt, and then $2,000 to $4,000 a month in portable income. That is that's probably the most important bullet points in this entire presentation here. Okay? So we got a few folks in the building. I know this isn't reaction content for Africa, but this is really important information that I think a lot of people will end up benefiting from in the long run. Okay? So phase 3 is eliminating financial anchors. And most people are trapped by this type of stuff. So it's your car note, which is one of your biggest and most detrimental thing to your financial wealth, is a car note. And it's your rent as well, if you rent. And if you rent and you want to lower your expenses, you may have to look into moving further out from a city center in order to get cheaper rent. And as far as cars go, bro, buy a cash car. It could be $4, $5, $6,000, or even less than that. Get a cash car, whatever you can afford. Do not, and I repeat, do not get a car note in the States at all. That's the biggest wealth killer that you guys will ever experience in your life. Do not get a car note, man. All right. So for eliminating financial anchors, let's kind of go into the bullet list here. Really focus on paying off high interest debt. And you could kind of look at Dave Ramsey's debt snowball, where you just pay off the smallest amount of debt first, or you can follow this route here, which is called the debt avalanche, where you start at the largest and you work your way down to the smallest debt. Whatever method that works for you, go ahead and do that. Okay. And then the next thing is selling unnecessary possessions. If you have 6 TVs in your house and you got a whole bunch of stuff that you don't need, sell the stuff or get rid of it. Minimize your lifestyle. This is what it's going to take to actually leave the matrix. All of this stuff that you have, whether it's TVs, whether it's motorcycles, stuff like that, man, you can't take that with you. Or why would you want to take a motorcycle with you? Why would you want to take a TV with you? Eliminate all the unnecessary stuff that's in your house or in your life and get rid of it. If you don't need it, you don't use it on a daily basis, you haven't used a kitchen appliance for like 6 months, get rid of it, right? The next thing, downsizing vehicles. This is probably I'm going to actually repost this live on my finance channel after this is done. But downsizing vehicles, a lot of people that I know personally, they have several vehicles and it's just for one human being. And it's absolutely wild that people have several cars for one human being. And vehicles will literally destroy the wealth that you want to get in order to leave the matrix. So downsize your vehicles. If you have a car note, if you're hopefully not underwater on that car note, but if you are not, I would strongly consider getting rid of it, getting it sold, give it back to the dealership if you can. And if you are underwater, you may have to take a personal loan out in order to pay the car off and then sell the car and just take the L on the depreciation. Okay. Anything to get rid of anything holding you back from leaving the matrix. This is why the matrix was created, was for you to stay in it. They did not plan for people to start leaving the US, dropping everything they own, selling everything off. You guys have seen other YouTubers do this time after time after time again. They sell everything that they have. They sell their car, they sell sell their house. They'll sell everything, all of their possessions, and they leave with like 2 or 3 suitcases and they leave and they never come back. This is what you'll probably have to do unless you're just making crazy amounts of money where you can afford to still keep your house in the States. But a lot of people don't have that type of lifestyle. And this live stream is for the majority of people to help them leave the USA, leave the matrix, okay? The next thing on the list is reducing subscriptions. So everybody, y'all got Amazon Prime, y'all got Netflix, y'all got this and that, all these subscriptions, Apple Music, Spotify. Spotify is very difficult to get rid of, guys. I get it. But you may have to look into getting rid of your subscriptions. Netflix should be first. Get rid of Netflix. If you got time to watch Netflix on a regular basis, you're not working hard enough. You need to be working extremely hard and reach your goal. And you have to set a timeline for yourself where you need to execute all of this stuff in order to leave the matrix. This is the only way you're going to be able to do it. Too many people sleepwalk through life thinking that success is just going to happen out of thin air, and it's not. I don't know why they think that, but you have to go and work for what you actually want in life. That's the only way you're going to achieve it. And these are the steps here that you guys can follow. And the last one here is, in my humble opinion, it's extremely important. The last one is avoiding lifestyle inflation. This is quite possibly the best financial advice you guys will ever hear. If you happen to get a promotion or you get a big raise at your job, you get like 20K on the signing bonus, or you get promoted and you're making $100, $200, $300, even $400,000 a year, don't increase your lifestyle. Of course, buy nice things. You work really hard to get that promotion or what have you, but don't increase your lifestyle. I know it's difficult. I know you want to buy that new flashy car, or you want to buy a nice fancy grill or something like that for your house. Control yourself. Don't do it. And you want to know why? I actually just had a conversation today at a beach club in Merida with someone who makes a considerable amount of money per year. Like, I'm talking in almost $500,000 range per year. And guess what kind of car they drive? Guess. It's not anything fancy. It's a Honda Accord, bro. Come on, man. Come on, bro.
Bruh.
Dude is killing it, making 400, 500K a year, driving a paid off Honda Accord. And he told me that he takes his money and invests it all. And he's living in Mexico, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy because in the US, we're so caught up in this consumer mindset where we have to buy the latest this, latest that. They got a Swatch and AP collab going on right now. People are going crazy for these $400 to $500 watches that are plastic, and people lining up and going crazy over it, not knowing that this stuff is mass produced and they're going to put it into production a few months from now, and it's going to be everywhere. We're so caught up in we're peak consumerism right now, and we're buying things that don't matter and buying things that we don't need. So simplify your lifestyle and don't let your lifestyle increase, guys. Please, please, please don't do that. All right. So essentially, the lower your expenses become, the easier freedom becomes. Simply put. Okay. Let's move on to the latter part of this phase here. So, for example, someone that is spending $4,500 a month in the US, which is about average, in my humble opinion. And they actually may live a very similar and if better life abroad for $1,800 to $2,800. That's more than half, guys. So if you can really make that money and you can go live abroad and lower your cost of living, you can honestly either save or invest the rest, and then you will be financially set up, and you don't even have to live in the States to do that. You don't have to live in the States to become successful. Okay? Let's see. We got anybody in the chat? We got a few people in here, man. What's up, guys? All right. So let's go. Let's go with the. I think this is the last phase here, or second to last, is testing the lifestyle first. So how do you know where you're going to end up? How do you know what country to pick or what city to pick without actually visiting those places first, right? Well, we do see a lot of YouTubers like moving sight unseen to places like Vietnam or Thailand. It may work out for them, and YouTube, of course, is going to show the success stories rather than showing you the people that moved somewhere sight unseen, hated it, and moved back. And you don't want that to be you, okay? So instead of moving sight unseen abroad, you want to spend 1 to 3 months in a particular city or country first before you even think about moving abroad. And 2, work remotely while you're traveling. That's a big one because a lot of people will come and visit a country or a city and they'll be on vacation mode, not knowing how real life operates in a particular country or a particular city. And then they move there. They're like, okay, cool. They come in with that vacation mindset, but they're permanently or semi-permanently living in a specific country, and the lifestyle's totally different than what they first thought on vacation mode. So working remotely while you're traveling is going to kind of set a pace and let you know how this like work-life balance is going to work when you live abroad in a different country. Okay. Lastly here, learn how you handle, man, this is real. This is hitting close to home here because I actually experienced a lot of this stuff when I moved to Mexico a few years ago. So the first thing is you have to handle loneliness, a culture shock for sure. Language barriers is a huge one. Healthcare. You got to think about time zones because if you're working remotely, you kind of have to align yourself with the time zones in the USA. So if you move to Southeast Asia, buddy, you're going to be working at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and you got to be okay with that. And this is one of the reasons why I kind of picked Mexico as at least one of my home bases, is because of the time zones are exactly the same as the US. Okay. And the proximity to the US is a benefit as well. So some popular starter countries that I've listed here for you Americans, of course, Mexico, my favorite. Literally one of the best countries, I think, for an American, but it's not the only. Right. So we have Portugal, has become extremely popular over the past few years. And that's all thanks to My Rich Journey on YouTube. Shout out to them. They made Portugal extremely popular. And then we got, of course, Thailand. Everybody has been watching YouTubers go to Thailand and enjoy themselves and overindulge in certain things. Thailand's a really good fit as well, man. You have to kind of get over a language barrier, but a lot of people do speak English pretty well in Thailand. You'd be surprised. And of course, the currency is the Thai baht, and our currency in the States is the US dollar. It's going to be extremely strong against the Thai baht. And then Costa Rica is another one. It's Central America. You can kind of fly almost anywhere from Central America to anywhere in North or South America. And Costa Rica is a good fit for a lot of people that enjoy that easy lifestyle and they want that nice kind of island feel, but not be isolated away from any other land masses. And Costa Rica has terrific seafood, y'all. So Costa Rica may be a spot you may want to look at. And also lately, I've seen a lot of my YouTube buddies like Austin Holloman and others check out Malaysia. Crazy. Who would have thought Malaysia would be on this list and they would skip Vietnam? Vietnam, bro. Bro, y'all got to be ready for the culture shock in Vietnam. And that's probably why I didn't include it on this list. I didn't have the best experience visiting Vietnam, so I kind of excluded it. But Vietnam is another popular spot as well. So why were these countries picked? The first reason, and possibly the most important reason, is the large expat communities. So I'm in Mexico right now, and Mexico has some of the largest expat communities I have ever seen. In Merida, for example, there is a huge American and or Black American expat group out here. They have events every single week and everybody shows up. So you want to go to a place where you don't feel as isolated as if you were to go to a Vietnam, where the expat community, it exists, but it may not be as developed and or large as the other countries mentioned here. So the second bullet point is that these countries are affordable. And when it comes to affordability, of course, those countries hit every single mark. I did leave out Vietnam, but Vietnam is an honorable mention for sure. And easier transitions for these countries as well, especially for my Spanish speakers. In Mexico and Costa Rica, those are two Spanish-speaking countries, but there is a lot of English proficiency in those two countries, along with Thailand. And then Portuguese is, there are a lot of similarities between Spanish and Portuguese that you guys can probably kind of pick up Portuguese if you happen to move to Portugal. And then the decent infrastructure. Keyword decent. Keyword decent.
Bruh.
There's the reason I put it there, man, Mexico is building up their infrastructure now as we speak. They have the Tren Maya in the Yucatan and in Quintana Roo. They're slowly building. But if we talk in infrastructure, it's a battle between Thailand and Portugal, in my humble opinion, as far as like infrastructure and like internet being A1, travel being A1. Portugal and Thailand, they're in the top, right? Okay, I think we are heading towards the end here. So we're doing phase 5, guys. You got to build your legal residency options. And I know we got a few people in the building. You guys got to ask questions because I am doing this live for you guys. I could honestly just pre-record it and just post it, but I'm doing it live so I can kind of interact with you guys and answer any questions that you guys may have as well. So phase 5 is build legal residency options, if I can talk, right? So this comes in the form of either having a visa, getting a temporary residency, or a long-term tourist rotation, or what they call it, doing a visa run, essentially. But the visa runs in certain countries are being kind of put to like an end to a degree. So you want to be careful doing those visa runs in certain countries. The first thing I want to talk about is one of the common pathways. And the first one, of course, is going to be a digital nomad visa. So there are a few countries that offer digital nomad visas for remote workers. So a few examples are Portugal, Spain, and Costa Rica. And I'm going to leave it to you guys to actually go explore that on your own, because this live stream to how to escape the matrix is for a large general population of people. So it's going to apply to a lot of people. I can't really hone down on specific countries because this is going to be a very generalized live stream for you guys. So it applies to everyone. Another one is temporary residency. And this is how I started my residency here in Mexico. I started out with a temporary residency, and now 4 years later, I'm down here changing my temporary residency to a permanent residency. So that gives me a few perks, but it also takes away a couple of perks that only the temporary residency has, including driving a foreign plated vehicle. That is one of the things in Mexico that kind of kills me on the permanent residency, because I was going to have my car down here, but permanent residency is exactly that. It's permanent. I never have to renew it. So that's a trade-off. I would just buy a car down here. That's totally fine. Okay. So some of the temporary residency options here, they're often based on income, savings, retirement, and your investments. So they take a look at all of that. So you got to have everything in order, everything documented. No funny stuff on the legal side. You know, you guys got to really have your stuff together if you're really looking to leave the matrix. You got to have your residency stuff and all of your documents in order, or else you get denied. And then, of course, this is what most people do. They do visa runs, bro. Straight up, they do visa runs. So long-term tourist rotation. So right now in places like Thailand, they're really clamping down on tourist visas where people will have to leave the country and then come back. They're really putting a stop to that lately. But countries that are still kind of like letting it slide is Vietnam. Vietnam is what you want to do if you want to do the tourist rotation or the visa run thing there. So be careful. Be careful. It's less stable for sure. Phase 6, build a financial base in USD. Wow, that car is really loud in the background. So a lot of expats earn in USD. We know that, right? We're leaving the matrix. We're leaving the US. And why? Why is it important to make USD while you're living abroad? You have a lot stronger purchasing power. So when you go buy everyday things, they're not as expensive as they are in the States. And also your currency advantage. And then lately, our currency is not that stable, bro. I should probably take this part out. What's going on in the Middle East, man, is really impacting our currency and the strength of it. Because a dollar exchange into pesos down here in Mexico, it's 17-1, where it used to be close to 20-1. And it's a big difference when you start buying stuff down here. It gets a little bit more expensive, especially when you are making bigger purchases out here. And you want to just be careful and be cognizant of the exchange rate of a foreign currency. So just be aware that the US dollar isn't as strong as it used to be. So here's the ideal setup for you guys. So make USD as your income, live in a lower cost country, which will lower your expenses. And with that saved money, you want to invest in the US markets. Ideally, you want to invest in index funds that track the S&P 500, or you want to track the total stock market. Those are the two that you want to do. Okay. And I'm not a financial advisor, so you guys will have to investigate a little bit further to kind of figure that out for yourselves. Okay. The one main reason that a lot of Americans move abroad, and I had this conversation several times today, they want to improve the quality of their life. And that can come from like food. It can come from more sunshine. If you come from a colder, more desolate state in the US, when they come down here to Mexico, at least for example, they're like, yeah, I love the weather down here. It's hot, it's humid. I came from Seattle. It was cold and rainy all the time. They love it down here. And the food is better out here. The food is a huge component as well. The food and the fruits, the veggies, they're not like pumped up with like, they're not sprayed with like pesticides down here. So what happens to the fruit and veggies down here in Mexico is that they will go bad in like 2 days. Because in the States, right, you get like a bag of apples, you get some mangoes or avocado, or not avocados. Avocados go bad in like 3 hours. But you would buy those fruits in the States, they would last for weeks in the refrigerator. Weeks, bro. And even the organic stuff lasts for like a week or two on average. You come down here, you put an apple in a refrigerator for like a week, that stuff is bad already. And that's the way it's supposed to be. That's natural. That's like a natural fruit. That's how things are supposed to be. Okay? Let's see how far we got to go. Okay. We got a couple more phases here for y'all, but it's not going to last too long. Okay? So phase 7 is creating a 2-country life, is like what I like to call it. Okay? The most sustainable setup is often not fully abandoning the U.S. All of us have family. We have friends that we want to keep up with. And you want to make, like, instead of like, so I have a list here. So instead, you got to maintain your U.S. banking and credit, keep your investment accounts, keep your mailing address, or at least try to. You can put it as a P.O. box if you want to do that as well. I know a few people that do that. Maintain relationships in your network, which is extremely important, at least to me personally. And then spend the majority of your time abroad. You can come back to the States, maybe 2 or 3 months, 2 or 3 months, and then you come back, and then you just repeat that every 2 or 3 months. You come back to the States for like a couple weeks or whatever, just to maintain those relationships and those that people in your network. Okay, and doing this stuff here actually gives you a lot of flexibility if you want to eventually return back to the Matrix, which a lot of people do, right? And that's totally okay. If you want to come back to the Matrix, you want to go back to the U.S., that's totally fine. You had your time abroad. You experienced what it was like to live outside of the Matrix, and hopefully that will motivate you to hustle harder in the States and leave for good. Okay? Global conditions can always change. Okay? So political climates can always change. Natural disasters, price spikes, right? We've seen this everywhere. We've seen this in a lot of other expat countries where they are becoming very unstable. Okay, so you really have to be aware of that, and that's why you want to have a 2-country life and still keep a lot of the components of your life in the U.S. just for now, just in case. And then the last thing here is that other career opportunities can arise in the U.S. and you want to capitalize on that. You may want to move back and be like, yo, they're offering me a bag they're offering me a huge bag at a startup in San Francisco, but I got to move back to the US. Sir, go get your bag. Move back to the States. That's totally fine. Make your bag, and then you can stack up, have a property in a different country, and then you can just live that a real two-country lifestyle. Okay? And that's happened to a few folks that I talked to today. It's crazy. Okay. We got anybody in the chat? Man, you guys ninja watchers, man. Y'all gotta start participating in the chat, bro. Okay, let's move on to phase 8 and phase 9. Okay, so phase 8 is learn skills most Americans never learn. And they never teach us in school. Okay, let's continue. People who thrive abroad usually become highly adaptable. And some of those important skills that they learn that most Americans struggle with, if not, they don't know it at all. Budgeting is for one. You gotta learn how to budget, y'all. Even if you're making a bag, right? You're making $200 to $300K a year. People like that still have to operate on a budget. Okay. Negotiating skills, basic language learning, remote work discipline. That will really level set you real quick when you got to work every single day and you're not on vacation mode. Okay. That catches a lot of people off guard, is that their mind is set to vacation, but they have to actually switch it to a work mindset. So next is building a community. You got to build your community. You cannot be alone in a foreign country. You're isolated, bro. That's going to really impact your mental health. And the reason that you move abroad is to improve your mental wealth or mental health. You have to build that community. And that's why the countries that I mentioned prior or earlier in the stream are so important, because they have strong expat communities to help you with the process. A lot of people, slow travel. Yeah, a lot of folks that I know actually slow travel as well. They'll go to these lower cost countries and they'll slow travel throughout the entire country, like Vietnam or Thailand. Okay. And then international banking. I always tell everyone that I know that asks about banking or withdrawing foreign currencies abroad, I use the Charles Schwab debit card. So the Charles Schwab debit card, you can put money into the account, right? I throw a couple $100s into the Charles Schwab account every time that I travel, and I can go to an ATM anywhere in the world, take out money, and accept the ATM fee or whatever. And at the end of the month, Charles Schwab actually refunds me that ATM fee back into my account. So essentially, you can take out foreign currency without paying any foreign transaction fees or any ATM fees. So the Charles Schwab debit card is the number one, in my humble opinion, for my travelers that need cash or traveling to countries that are very cash heavy, like a Japan or Mexico is becoming less dependent on cash. I found that out now, coming back here after about a year of not being here. And you also have to be self-reliant when you're moving abroad, unless you're moving with a spouse or what have you. And this is where the real escape happens. So not physically leaving the US, but becoming less dependent on systems that require constant consumption and overwork. People's mental health is not a priority in the USA. And we'll just say it. There are systems in place in the matrix that they just don't care. They don't care about you. These corporations don't care about you. You think Meta, Facebook, they care about those 10% of their workforce they laid off last week? They don't care. Mark Zuckerberg don't care. He's still a billionaire. And this is why you have to exercise your right. Okay? This is why you have to build your own business, have a side hustle, be able to switch on that side hustle if you happen to be laid off. Okay? It's a reality nowadays, guys. It's a reality. A lot of huge companies are laying off a huge part of their workforce. And if it's your time, if it's your time to go, with these steps here, you'll be ready to switch that stuff on and be like, you know what? I'm gonna get a remote job, or I'm gonna have my business already ready to go. I got my YouTube channel making good money, and I'm gone. This is how you do it, step by step. It doesn't have to be YouTube. It can be other side hustles that I mentioned in the video. Okay? You have to be ready to leave your job or leave the country at a moment's notice and be ready to do it ASAP. So let's move on to the phase 9 here. Avoid the fantasy trap. So a lot of social media sells quit your job and move to Bali.
Bruh.
Escape society.
Bruh.
Retire at 30 overseas.
Bruh.
All that is cap, bro. All of it is cap. The reality is that the problems will follow you. Your problems will follow you, and your income still matters when you move abroad. Okay? Savings can only last so long. You have to make this sustainable. Healthcare. A lot of people do not mention healthcare abroad. And I would highly suggest investigating what the healthcare looks like in the country that you choose to live in. I always recommend using Safety Wing. They are a partner with the channel, but I've used Safety Wing prior to them being a partner of the channel. So they give you health coverage worldwide, just simply put, excluding the USA. Funny enough. Visas do matter, and doing visa runs or border runs, eventually it's going to stop, bro. Depending on what country you're in, eventually, like, making those visa runs, they're going to start noticing, guys. Come on, man. If your country has a much more stable visa for you to get and you actually qualify for it, stop wasting time and go get that real visa, right? The long-term visa where you can have multiple entries and they don't really care about you coming in and out of the country as often. Okay? And then community matters as well. You want to pick a place that has a substantial or sizable expat group, so you have a community as soon as you make your landing. You do not want to be isolated in a country where it is a huge language barrier and nobody knows English besides you. So you want to make sure you have a community where you're going to be landing. Okay? So the goal is not escaping reality. The goal is increasing freedom, optionality, and quality of life. This is what I guess the American dream is now, is to leave America to increase your freedom, optionality, and your quality of life. Crazy, right? Everybody else wants to move to America, but we're trying to leave. Let's go with a 12 to 14 month realistic exit plan. Okay? And we got a couple pages left. This is easy. So we'll knock this out, guys. And I'll check for any questions in the chat right now. Nope, nothing yet. We got a few people in the building. I see y'all. Month 1 through 3, track all your spending, eliminate unnecessary expenses, get rid of that Netflix, wean yourself off of Spotify and start using YouTube for your music. And there's some apps out there where you can use the enable background playback on iPhone and Android. So you investigate that. There you go, free music. You can get rid of all of your subscriptions. That's the first thing you want to do. Downsize your car, downsize your lifestyle, get rid of unnecessary things in your life, like everything, like analyze every single aspect of your life. Okay. Build your emergency fund. Like I said, my recommendation is to have at least $10,000 in an emergency fund. Don't touch it. Put it in a high yield savings account. And you can research, like Capital One has like a 3.5 or 4% interest rate high yield savings account. That's just an example, but you can do your research and you can find a high yield savings account where you can put that 10K away and it just gains interest with time. And lastly, research countries where you want to go. You want to go to Japan? Check out Japan. You want to go to Thailand and join all the other YouTubers on planet Earth? You can go to Thailand. If you want to go to Brazil, you want to go to Colombia, you want to go to Mexico, if you even want to go to Canada. We know Canada is cooked. That's the joke. But let's go through the next few months here. Month 4 through 6, build your remote income. So if you're working at a retail job or you're working at a dead-end job, start looking at remote jobs on LinkedIn, Indeed. I even look at like the actual companies I want to work for. I look at their career pages. So I want to work for Tesla. I want to work for Google. I want to work for X and Y company. Just look at their career page, because a lot of jobs that are remote, a lot of them aren't posted on Indeed or LinkedIn. Okay, so look at these companies' career pages and start your side business and or freelancing. So month 4 through 6, start that YouTube channel ASAP. I would put that probably in month 1. Step number 1, start a YouTube channel. Figure out, I'm gonna actually do a whole different stream on how to become a YouTuber and actually benefit from it financially, and show you guys how I did it. Okay, so start that YouTube channel, figure out what your niche is, and then niche down even further. And once you find your crowd, ride that wave, brother. So you can do it. And then lastly, for month 4 through 6, reduce your debt. Get rid of it, man. Too many Americans are in debt. Too many. Even people that make crazy money, they're in debt. Don't be one of them. Be one of the smart ones, okay? Have some intelligence with your money. Be smart with your money, bro. Month 7 through 12, take your first international test run to the country that you have chosen in the previous few months, okay? So it can be a few countries. It can be a cluster of countries in the same region. You can choose Thailand, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia. They're all in that little section of Southeast Asia. Give it a shot. Take it for a test run. You want to move to Brazil, Colombia, Venezuela, crazy. Whole different side of jokes there. You can just go visit, bro. Like for a week, 2 weeks. This says the 1 to 3 months. I know that's kind of difficult for a lot of people, but if you can take a sabbatical and just go visit, and then evaluate the cost of living in these countries and in your home country, and figure out how much you're able to kind of save and then invest further to make yourself more wealthy. Right? The goal here is financial freedom, increased quality of life, and better mental health. Okay, so let's move on to year 2, and then we're going to close out after this. Year 2, apply for residency or a nomad visa. Get a real visa. Don't do border runs if you can help it. Increase your investment income. Establish long-term housing abroad. So you can look for apartments on Facebook Marketplace, but there are a lot of countries where they don't have an MLS. They don't have a central location for all of their listings for rentals or purchases of homes. You have to kind of have your boots on the ground. And a lot of places will have like a for sale sign that's not on Facebook Marketplace. So you literally have to go around certain neighborhoods where you actually want to live. You see a house that's either for sale or for rent, and you call them and you figure out how much rent is, and then that's your spot. Okay? This is important. This is really important. Build sustainable routines and a community. This is going to play more into the mental health part of the conversation, and to me that's very important. You want to make sure your mental health is there. What's the reason why you're moving abroad? It's so you don't feel like you're stuck in a hamster wheel. You're not stuck in a corporate America like little circle, right? And you're getting paid literally crumbs in corporate America while the people at the top making millions of dollars. They don't even know who you are. Crazy. But yeah, build sustainable routines and community when you are abroad. And now, probably for the most valuable part of the stream, is countries commonly chosen by Americans seeking lower cost freedom. A few of these countries, man, I would love to purchase a house in and just go there, leave everything, and just be chilling. Let's start out in Latin America. Of course, my all-time favorite, Mexico, Colombia, Costa Rica, and Panama. Southeast Asia, Thailand, Vietnam, Philippines, and Malaysia. Europe, Portugal, Georgia, and Spain. Do your research on Georgia and their visa. That is a huge tip for y'all. Georgia, the country, not the state. Georgia has a very, very friendly, like a U.S. friendly visa policy. So go check that out. Trust me, you're going to like it. I think that's going to be it. And I can go through the core formula that we have here. So the most successful long-term expats follow some version of this. Earn in a stronger currency. Spend in a lower cost country. Own your time. Keep your expenses low. Build portable skills that you can take with you. Avoid consumer debt. That's the number one, bro. That's the number one. I'm gonna give that a Dom DeMarco. Avoid that consumer debt. Invest consistently and stay adaptable. That's it. I gave y'all the sauce, man. I gave y'all the sauce. I know that the 5 people in here right now, y'all heard the sauce. I know I typically get like 100 to 200 people watching live when I do my live streams on the morning. But you guys gotta understand, there are so many people stuck in debt, unhappy with their 9-to-5 job, mentally stressed out, physically exhausted, and just tired of the rat race with no hope, no way of getting out of it, no method to do so. This here, watch this back. It's only an hour long. This whole stream literally shows you step by step on how to free yourself from the matrix, man. I really hope this helps at least one person that watches this stream, and it won't get a whole bunch of views, and I know that. That's totally fine, as long as it helps you. So if this did help you, go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel, and also share this too, man. If you know somebody that is struggling to escape the matrix, or they want to move out of the country but don't have a method to do so, share this live stream with them, share this video with them, and hopefully it'll help them as well. So these are the steps that I actually followed in order to prop myself up to be able to leave the US at any given time when I need it. All right, guys, so that's going to be it. And my name is Jay. The YouTube channel is called Tripping with Jay. And if this helped you, man, go and support the channel. Go to trippingwithjay.com or send in a super chat or super thanks for this video. And I really do appreciate each and every one of you. We hit 33,000 subscribers yesterday. And it all came from you guys' support, man. So I really appreciate that, and I don't take it for granted. And I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow, doing my regular reaction content as normal. So I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, normal time. I know I had to push it back a day, but you know, your boy's on vacation. I had to go out and kind of have a little bit of fun. Got a little bit of a tan from the beach today. So I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. See you tomorrow morning. Peace out, guys. See ya.